Hey y'all, welcome back to Sharon's Nail Boutique. I'm your beautiful host, Sharon. Okay, don't mean to toot my own horn, but toot toot. Okay, so we are doing a filing, prep, and tipping video. I wanted to make use of this footage because I didn't want to just erase it and put it to waste. So I know a lot of you have trouble with prepping and have asked about this. So I really wanted to share this with you. After you go in and you push all 10 cuticles back, right? You want to come in before you're tipping. You want to come in and start shaping that free edge into that nice, neat, round shape. Make sure you're getting up in those corners of those side walls and making sure that they're as kind of close to that nail plate as possible. The corners especially, because with the tips in the corners, it's hard to get those to stay down a lot of the time. And as long as your nail bed itself is trimmed properly and prepped properly, you should have a easier time getting your tips to glue down. So these nails are already short. This is one of my clients. I haven't seen him in a very, very long time, so it was very nice to catch up with him. So as you can see, I'm working in real time. So this is how slow I actually go. And you want to make sure you're going with the growth of the nail. So that's why you see me turning to different angles with my file. As the nail grows out, kind of grows out, and like the ridges are like half moon shaped and they're coming forward. So you want to make sure you're going with the growth of the nail plate and not like against the grooves type, so to speak. Like kind of like with shaving, you go with, not against, so you don't get ingrown hairs. It's like with the nail, you go with the growth of the nail and not against it, so you don't mess up the nail plate. So moving on to the thumb, I try to perfect like that back and sidewall area first. So as long as you are etching the whole surface, do not miss out on any parts. Make sure you're getting all the way up into those corners. That back cuticle area is super important, because if you do not do these parts right, your nails are gonna pop off, they're gonna break. A lot of different things are gonna happen. You're gonna get problems with lifting. So this is a very, very important step. If you're having trouble with lifting, I had troubles with that, and I stopped using Mia Secrets primer and switched to No Lift Nails acid base. So next I come in with my diamond ball cuticle bit, and I'm only using this, guys, to get all those little dead skin particles up back at that cuticle and eponychium area. Now these are gentle enough to go like right onto your own skin, so every now and again I'll demonstrate that for you guys as well. But when you're coming in with your cuticle bit, you want to start at that farthest corner where the eponychium and cuticle meet, and start right there, and you want to come up to halfway, work on that side first, then go down the other part. Okay, and do not do this at a fast speed, just the slowest. I have mine on the slowest speed. So see those little hangy bits that he gets there? Eventually I'll come back in with my nippers and get any extra bits that are hanging. Really, really important, guys. Obviously if you're not trained in using the nippers, I would not suggest using it. Even with the nail file, guys, you got to be really, really careful. A lot of times with drills, you should be taking the classes and getting training hours. Now, if you've practiced enough on a training hand, or yourself, or like family members, you should be fine. Just take it easy. Be very, very careful. Always have your cuticle bits on the slowest speed possible. Well, not the slowest, but like right above the slowest. That way it don't stop on the nail plate. Just make sure you're just being very careful. I'm sorry, I'm out of frame right here. I'm just getting the dead skin back there. You're not missing much, same thing. But I can't stress enough how important these first steps are when it comes to prepping, filing, sanitation, and all of that. Very, very important for your clients' well-being, very important for their nail health. All of these steps, if taken correctly, you will be on your way to a very great career and lots of clients, because they're always going to want to come back. You're doing everything perfectly. You're doing it right the first time. A lot of these places, they rush through the sets and they don't get it done properly. So you see how smooth that was? Didn't require me to put a lot of pressure. As little pressure as possible, and this does the trick. It does the rest for you. So now I have to come back in with my nippers, and I need new nippers bad, guys. Like, these are, sorry about the state of, I always clean in between and before and after. It's just so much dust in my nail room. It gets everywhere. My table dust collector stopped working, so I am in the market looking for a new table, a new dust collector, and new nippers. So I'm just using those to get all that extra dead cuticle off the nail plate. And there's a difference, guys, between this and the epinicium. So you don't want to cut the epinicium, just the dead skin. And maybe that's for another video where I can explain like the difference. But I definitely will do that for you guys, so you know what to look out for, what not to cut, what to cut. So you pretty much know, because like you see how the dead skin itself is a lot lighter in color comparison to the rest of her skin. That's how you know the skin is dead, because it's like light in appearance. And you see that trim right around her cuticle right there. All that light skin. See, it's like compared to her normal skin tone, it's very light. So that's how you know what to clip, what not to clip. And when I do the video on it, I'll go more in depth in explanation. But yeah, I mean, so I'm just getting all that extra dead skin, because nobody likes that hanging around when you're trying to get nails done properly. And it definitely makes a difference. I mean, like I said, not everybody's gonna be able to do this part because they're not comfortable using the nippers. You can use like your buffer block. That can help up there too, like to get all those little extra bits. So moving on, I am moving on to tipping now. And this is important, guys. If the tip itself is too small, move on to a bigger one. It's way better to have too big of a tip on the nail plate than too small. Now you're gonna have those times where you just don't have one big enough. Personally, when I did my nails, I've already trimmed them down. I'm gonna do them again for you guys, but my thumbnail in this set was too small, and you can't tell. There's ways around it, but you're gonna run into problems like that where your biggest tip is still too small for the person's thumb. Just work your way around it, or if you have nail forms, you could use those too. That way you could build one personally to their actual nail. So I am making sure that I have a decent amount of glue on these, because his nails are a little on the bigger side and wider side. So with his nails, I always have to make sure that I have a good amount of glue on there. Otherwise, they just won't stick enough to his nail plate. I don't know why that is, but it just is. And another tip for you guys, make sure that you're doing your prep work before you put your tips on. That way it's not harder for you to do. So we're sizing them now, and we're doing, with his set, we did a rounded stiletto, not almond, but like rounded to a point. So when you do your nails, you want to make sure that you clip them a little bit longer than what the actual sizes you're going for, because when you come in to reshape and file, you're going to take some of that length off naturally anyway. So you want to make sure that you're not taking off too much of the tip. You want to leave a little extra on there, like I said, so that when you do come in and file and shape and perfect it, you're not taking off too much to the point where now the client is like, where'd the length go, you know? So that's, now I'm coming in to cut the sides, and that's just to help me get them into that stiletto shape faster. If you want to work on areas of the like where you do the nails to cut back on your time, look for certain parts of the nail process where you say to yourself, okay, this part of the nail process, I know that I can do this, this, and this different, and it's not going to neglect my client in any way, because you want to look for ways to speed up your time, but you don't want to do it at the cost of your client's nail health. I mean, for me, I would much rather spend 3-4 hours doing a set and getting it done properly than taking 1.5 hours and rushing through and making them bleed in their cuticles, and using the sanding man so much that you burn their nail plate. Like, I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me in like a typical walk-in salon. They rush through the process, and you could tell they rush through the process. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. I mean, at the time, obviously I didn't know how to do my own nails, so for me it was just always like this idea that that's how nails are done. But when I started doing nails, I realized no, they're just rushing through it. So with any type of beauty, it takes time, okay? But this process itself should not be painful. So you see how his thumb is a little wider than the tips? So like I said, there's ways around that when you come back into file and shape. Like, it is what it is, guys. We'll figure it out. So once you get them cut and stuff, then you're able to easier file them into shape. My rounded stiletto there. So I go in now with 1 coat on all 10 nail plates of my OPI Band-Aid. I swear by this stuff. This is my process. OPI Band-Aid and No Lift Nails Acid Base Primer. You cannot go wrong with those two combinations. I promise you. Only 1 coat of the OPI and then 2 coats of the No Lift Nails Acid Base Primer. I'm going to show you guys me doing his thin clear base, and after that I'm going to let you go. This was just our prep, filing, and tipping routine. So I hope you guys picked up some tips and tricks from here. I hope it helped you some. If you have any questions at all, no matter what it is, guys, do not be like, oh, that's a dumb question, or oh, I'm a little embarrassed to ask this. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Just pop it in the comments below, and I will definitely get right back to you, answer your whatever questions or comments you guys have. I appreciate every comment I get. I respond back to all my people, even if it takes a little bit sometimes. And I also subscribe back to everyone that subscribes to me. So if you haven't subscribed yet, I would definitely appreciate it if you did. And I will definitely return the support, guys. I love you guys all so much. You all mean the world to me. You really do. So we're just getting our stuff ready, because I did do his nails. I just didn't record all of it because I only wanted to do the prepping for you guys. So I know that some of you were asking for that. So we're just now doing the coat of OPI Band-Aid on all those nail plates. 1 coat of this is plenty, and basically the Band-Aid helps to remove further impurities, dust, oils from the nail plate itself, and preps it for the primer. And the primer, especially the acid base, is good because it helps give way more adhesion to the acrylic. So it helps the acrylic adhere and stick to the nail plate. And obviously if you have a shiny nail plate, that's not going to work. So that's why it's important to rough up the surface of the nail bed without thinning it out. So now we go in with our No Lift Nails Acid Base Primer, and this little brush you see actually comes with it. So they always come with these little red brushes right in the box when you get it. So 1 on all 10, and then 1 right before, not right before, but before I do the acrylic. So I let it dry out first, and then I'll place the acrylic bead down, because with acid base primer you have to wait till it's dry before you go in. With acid-less, you go in while it's still damp, like this, basically. Like right after you put it down, then you would go in with your acrylic. And that's just how those chemicals react with each other. That's how you're supposed to do it. And let me tell you guys something. All my clients, with this combination, they don't have any lifting issues. I don't get anybody with lifting issues unless they like broke a nail, like say they like jammed it or something, then obviously it'll lift off. Then like that's the only thing, but for it to naturally happen, no, it doesn't. Knock on wood. So after my second coat, I'm gonna go in with my Mia Secret clear acrylic polymer and do our just a small damp bead and do our thin clear base. So here we go. And we don't need a lot. Just place that, push it up, pull down. Turning your brush on its side when you get close to those sidewall areas. You see how I have it like turn, and then I start turning it flatter as I get through the center. And my thin clear base doesn't always work the way I want it to, but it's very important too that you make sure you're thinning out where the tip gets glued on, because if you don't, you're gonna have a difficult time when you do this, or any acrylic, when you come in with it. It's not gonna like, how many of you have ever had that issue where the tip isn't blended enough, and then when you come in with your acrylic over the top of it, like the corners kind of stick out? Well, if you blend them the way you should, then you shouldn't have too much of an issue with that. I did, I think, on the pinky, I want to say, but it wasn't a huge deal. As you can see, most of them are blended just fine, but you will, all of us make mistakes. We all make mistakes. So I am gonna let you guys watch me finish doing the thing. Oh, I don't think I do all the fingers on camera, but I just wanted you guys to kind of get the gist of it. I love you guys all so much. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're new here. Don't forget to like this video. If it helped you guys, definitely pop it in the comments below. Until my next one, I love you all so, so much. And don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up, guys. And just stop and say hello. Take a second for yourselves and just enjoy the day, guys, okay? Bye, guys. I'll see you in the next one.